Well, hey everybody, Mr. Reeves back with you. And in this video, we're going to be doing some extra practice solving two-step inequalities. All right, remember solving an inequality is finding the values of the variable that make the inequality true. And we do that by using inverse operations to find out what the values of that variable are. All right, so for example, number 1, 4x minus 7 is greater than 17 says we're going to multiply a number by 4. We're going to subtract 7. And then when we're done, we want it to be greater than 17. All right, so here's what we got to do. All right, we're going to do the opposite or the inverse operations in the opposite order. So since they multiplied by 4 and then subtracted 17 and got that result, subtracted 7 and got that result of greater than 17, the first thing we're going to do, working our way backwards here, is we're going to add 7 to both sides. All right, we're going to add 7 to both sides, and when we do that, we will be left with, and I don't have a lot of room here, so I'm going to go ahead and go over here. All right, so once I do that, then I'm going to have 4x is greater than, well, 17 plus 7 is 24. All right, so I added 7 to both sides. That eliminated the minus 7. 17 plus 7 is 24. Now, that's multiplication. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. We divide by 4 and we get x is greater than 6. And since we did not multiply or divide by a negative, we do not need to reverse the inequality sign. All right, and you could see right over here is that answer, x is greater than 6. And if you were actually doing the worksheet, what they instruct you to do is to draw a line from there to there, and you would see that it went with the letter E. All right, so the answer to this first one would be the letter E. All right, because it matches up with number 5. But that's a thing that only applies if you're actually doing the paper version. Okay, all righty. Let's go to this one right here, number 3. 10 minus 8x is greater than 26. Again, if they were doing this, they would take x, whatever it is, they would multiply it by 8, and then they would subtract that from 10. Okay? All right, so if we're going to work backwards, the first thing we need to do is we need to take that 10 away. All right? We need to eliminate that 10 here. That is there. So 10 minus 10 is 0. All right, when we do that, on the left-hand side, we now have negative 8x is greater than, well, 26 minus 10. When we take that 10 away, we get 16. All right. Okay, now here we go. We need to divide because they were multiplying by negative 8, so we're going to divide by negative 8. And when we do that, we're going to get x's. Now we got to be careful. We are dividing by a negative. This is the first one we've come across where we're going to have to do this. When you multiply or divide by a negative, you must reverse the inequality sign in order to keep the inequality true. So it becomes x is less than, well, 16 divided by negative 8 is negative 2. X is less than negative 2. Alrighty. Okay, let me double check my math on this one. 26 minus 10 is 16. Alrighty. And then we're dividing by a negative 8. X is less than negative 2. All right, so I don't see that one over here. It's not on our part of the screen. Let me go ahead and scroll down. There's x is less than negative 2 right down there. All right, okay. Let's do another one. All right, how about number 4? Here we go. Negative 6x minus 1 is less than or equal to 23. All right, if I were to add 1 to both sides because they multiplied by negative 6 and subtracted 1, then I would get negative 6x is less than or equal to 24. All right, but now they've got multiplication by negative 6, So I'm going to divide by negative 6. And once again, I am dividing by a negative, so I'm going to have to reverse that inequality sign. So instead of less than or equal to, it's going to become greater than or equal to negative 4. X is greater than or equal to negative 4, which I believe is right there at the top of our screen. All right. Okay, let me do one that has the variable on the other side. All right, how about number 8? All right, number 8, 42 is greater than 3x plus 3. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract away that 3 that's being added, and that's going to give me 42 minus 3 is not going to give me 40 anything. It's going to give me 39 is greater than 3x, because 42 minus 3 is 39. Now the inverse of multiplying by 3 is going to be dividing by 3, and that's going to give me 13 is greater than x. All right? But again, if you look at all of their answers, they have the x on the left-hand side. So I've talked with you about this before. We're going to flip this around. If 13 is bigger than all of the answers, then all of the answers must be smaller than 13. See how that works? Just flip the entire thing around. All right, the 13 goes there, the x goes there, and the greater than becomes less than. And there it is right there. Okay? All right, so remember we are doing the opposite operations in the opposite order, and if in that process we have to multiply or divide by a negative, we're going to reverse the inequality sign. All right, let me do one more problem. This one right here, number 14. 37 is less than or equal to 17 minus 2x. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is take away that 17 that was being added here at the beginning. All right, when I do that, well, 37 minus 17 is 20. Now be careful. I've got less than or equal to, and see that right there, that subtraction? That makes it turn out to be a negative 2x, okay? Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. But remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to reverse the inequality sign. So I get 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10, but instead of less than or equal to, it becomes greater than or equal to x. All right, but once again, as if that wasn't tricky enough to remember to switch it, again, all of these have x on the left-hand side, so we're going to have to flip this around. Negative 10 is greater than or equal to x is the same thing as saying x is less than or equal to negative 10. X is less than or equal to negative 10. Again, if negative 10 is bigger than all the answers, then all the answers must be smaller than negative 10 in this case, or equal to. Let's make sure that one is there because we want to make sure we got an answer that's there. There it is, right there. X is less than or equal to negative 10. All right, so that is our extra practice with solving two-step inequalities. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.